Go!
Alright everybody, so forget everything you know about Silent Hill. Safe to say that Shattered Memories is a departure from the entire series, because for the past 6 games, Silent Hill was about exploring spooky buildings and deserted streets in a foggy city, and as we all know, finding weapons along the way was critical for your survival. Not this time, however, because Konami strips the combat aspect completely away, leaving you only with your wits and a flashlight. Of course, you can say it's not completely devoid from what we've grown to love in the past. In fact, Harry Mason comes back into the spotlight for the Nintendo Wii's Shattered Memories.
Cheryl!
Note that this is not a remake whatsoever, but you don't have to play the previous games to get an understanding. In fact, you really don't even have to know that they existed.
Sorry. I'm always saying goofy things that come into my head.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories starts new. Its premise is the exact same, though Harry and his daughter Cheryl are caught in a storm, which causes Harry to lose control of his vehicle and crash. When he wakes up, he realizes Cheryl goes missing, and this prompts a search for his daughter.
Cheryl? Sweetie?
The subtitle Shattered Memories makes sense right away, as the game is split up between meetings with a therapist over sad memories of Harry's journey in Silent Hill. Before the game starts, you take a psychological evaluation exam, a simple 10-question questionnaire that actually defines and indeed alters the events in Silent Hill.
Never cheated on a partner, really?
Depending on those answers, you may see characters dressing differently or even encounter alternate storyline elements. Of course, answering differently on a second playthrough triggers moments that weren't available. This creates a great addition for replay value later on.
Who the hell is Michelle?
Throughout this therapy, you'll be answering questions or taking even smaller tests to reevaluate how Silent Hill is experienced for you. Other psychological tests include how you perceive images or how you deal with sex or death. It's all very intriguing, and it'll keep you focused to see what else this title has to offer the further you progress.
You think sex becomes stale after marriage?
So, many fans found that Silent Hill 2 was actually the most worthy game out of the series because of its deep psychological aspect.
Sorry if I interrupted you.
But this game hits us with more or less the same theme that Silent Hill 2 has so successfully accomplished. And they managed to do it quite wonderfully. You'll be given a lot of information all the way through, and to put it cohesively might be a task. This game, however, does an awesome job in making the player question what might be real and what might be a nightmare. So be prepared to see many familiar faces, including Sybil.
Right off the side.
Harry, the bridge has been closed since the storm started. You swam.
And Lisa.
Self-medication. The one true perk of the healthcare profession.
Altogether, much can be said about the dynamic element of lighting this game has to offer. As you control Harry, you use the Wii remote to point the flashlight in any direction. This creates a fresh and very creepy environment to explore. For a Wii game, the graphics are actually very impressive. Characters look great and the environments are chilling. Even when nothing is actually happening, they've developed a unique visual experience that always feels dark and foreboding. The voice acting is a hit and miss. While some moments felt natural,
The nurse falls for the dashing doctor?
There are no dashing doctors. They're all alcoholics and perspire too much.
other moments felt a little over the top.
I am not okay. I was in a car accident. My daughter is gone, and you people are in my house.
The creativity behind the use of the Wii Remote is exceptionally fun and intuitive. A lot of the moments in the game will have you pushing, grabbing, twisting, and turning devices and items in the world. This is a much more interactive way to approaching puzzles and locating those keys too. Speaking of puzzles, they are back in this one, but if you're expecting a huge challenge like the previous installments, you may be disappointed. While they are structured for a more basic solution, there are enough for those that enjoy a more intellectual challenge. This is 2010 after all, and everyone should be carrying his or her very own cell phone. So does Harry. It's got mail, text, and an off-brand Google Maps application, and most importantly, a camera. And yes, you'll receive phone calls that you'll want to pay close attention to. To answer and listen, you put the Wii remote speaker up to your ear, and voila, your controller is as good as a phone. In previous games, Silent Hill was known for locating maps for each new area to explore. This idea is completely gone since you have the phone. If you're lost, simply open it up and presto. What's even cooler is that you can write your own personal notes on the cell phone map. Like other games, the map would update if a door was locked or an arrow would point to where you need to go. You have the option of putting all these onto your phone map or nothing at all. It's purely optional and interactive. Throughout Silent Hill, Harry will cross paths with, who would have really thought, ghosts. They're hidden in areas, but they are more of a means to trigger little events in the story, yet unlocked by the phone. Some scripted events you have to bump into, for others you have to snag a picture for a reveal. You could get around some events as they are optional, but it'll leave you with less clues to figuring out the story. The fog of Silent Hill is miraculously gone in this one. In place of the usual rusting over alternate world is now a snowy wasteland. This is where things start picking up the pace, literally. As noted earlier, combat is completely minimal. The only way to survive is to run. From the frosty depths of this new Silent Hill come these bland, fleshy creatures which look human in form. And of course, they want you dead. The great thing about this new system is the intensity and fear will be ramped up 100%. Without weapons, everything is that much scarier. Of course, you can throw obstacles in the way to stop a chase, or you can hide in a locker until the coast is clear. This new type of gameplay, however, is fresh and pretty scary. If any of these creatures manage to get to you, you must move the Wii remote control specifically in the direction it prompts on the screen. In mid-chase, you can even look behind you to see who or what it is that's running after you. Talk about skipping a heartbeat. The only problem overall is that there just isn't enough variation in these alternate nightmarish worlds. Creatures are the same, and it's kind of a letdown in that respect. But you'll be panicking so much throughout it that you'll like the experience anyway. Aside from the chase sequences, there are some other memorable sequences that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. Or you may even chuckle, given that you have to mimic certain movements with the Wii controls. While this is a great addition to the Nintendo Wii game library, it's also too short. You may feel it ends rather prematurely, and the way it abruptly halts Harry's journey was anticlimactic. However, you're in for a fine twist of events that will surprise anyone. Any fans of Silent Hill 2 will need to experience this, and any regular fans of the series will feel that it fits right in to be one of the better Silent Hill games from its recent sluggish sequels. Aside from the bland-looking monsters and repetitive moments, Konami did a good enough job to overlook its setbacks. It is short, yes, but it's downright scary sometimes. It's also very meaningful and will impact those who love a strong psychological ride. And it has a great soundtrack to boot. We here give Silent Hill Shattered Memories an 8.5 out of 10.